Award in the year 2006, given by Nutrition Society of India, Hyderabad. Madam has published many books, to name them Kannada one, Arogyake Paustikara Ahara, published by Karnataka University, Dharwad. She has edited a book titled Tayi Hagu Navajata Shishuvina Araike, published by Publication Center, University of Agriculture Science, Dharwad. She has published few articles in Deccan Herald, namely like Vitamin C for Holistic Health, Show Me the Way. Madam has given many talks, more than 15 talks in radio. We are honored to have you with us today, Madam. Over to you, Renuka Madam.
Thank you, Rupa, for your kind introduction. Namaskara, Ella, JC members, staff members again. At the outset, my humble salutations at the lotus feet of His Highness Dr. Sutturu Deshikendra Swamiji. It's really a pleasure to have interaction with you all regarding food, science and nutrition. So all of us are very much interested nowadays to know regarding what kind of food should be taken during COVID-19 pandemic. So all of us now, since I think April, we all are in one way or the other kind of tension, or maybe like many side effects are coming into after getting the corona. So it is always, let us all have something, keep ourselves some goals and objectives on day-to-day basis. That's very important. On day-to-day basis, how to keep away this corona-19 pandemic, as well as a regular, like how we have got to maintain our health and nutrition. So all of you all know health. What is health? It is nothing but just not a physical or mental well-being, but it is also a social, a psychological and spiritual. Very recent they have added spiritual well-being of an individual. Then coming to the what is nutrition? Nutrition is nothing but in a very simple way to say what is nutrition is it's nothing but the fate of food in the body. So when the food enters into our body, maybe it passes through the mouth and esophagus and stomach, then liver and small intestine and large intestine, then it got excreted. So this is usually called as a fate of the food in the body, can say. Like how when food is ingested in the body, so it is ingested, then it is digested, then it is absorbed, then transported, then excreted. This is simple, it is called as a nutrition. Then how this food and nutrition is related to health, that is very important. Okay, before going into to go into detail of my slide sharing with you all, I'll just give you one small say about how the health and the nutrition status is important for each and every one of us. So, for example, now all of you might be thinking all JC stuff. Weather is very good. Of course, in North Karnataka, we all are in rains. Uttara is in Kanneru. They say in public TV. So North Karnataka is full of monsoon. The same way, maybe in Mysore full of monsoon, you would like to go somewhere near. Of course, nowadays we don't prefer to go out for a picnic and all. But still, I'm just giving you one example. Like all of us have gone to one area for the picnic. So what we have decided, we shall take the same food prepared by one person. then same food and same bus we catch in and go to that picnic area. All of us enjoy whole day and share, I think, same environment, same food, same water, and same enjoy and come back. The next day, when again there is no holiday, you all have to go to the department, then you see the panic. So one might be suffering from headache, one might be suffering from stomach ache, maybe some problem, dysentery, loose motion, and so on. And one may simply get up and go and walk down to the department. Then what is this difference? So when all of us, all the individuals, we have enjoyed the same environment, same climatic conditions, same water, same food, same amount of time spending our energy, but when it comes to the second day, some of us are ill, some of us are not well, some of us are very much not well, and some of us are normal. So this depicts the health index. It is usually called in nutritional point of view. It's a nutritional status, one's own nutritional status. So this, how this nutritional status is how it is impacting on food, on health means, it is the way how we eat the food, how we take the food, how we treat the food, how we prepare the food, and how we eat the food, how we digest the food. It's all about the food. So food is related to nutrition and nutrition is related to health. So let us all start with this. So health and nutrition during a pandemic 19. So this is my first slide, lifespan development. So right from the day one of the conception until the delivery, until we go to tomb, the nutrition is very important, means the food is very important. Food is essential for all the stages of life. You can say for a child, infant, for a preschooler, for adolescence, then during adulthood, and for old age. For all the stages, the food is very important for maintaining growth, development, to fight against infections, for growth spurt, maturation, bone development, and during adulthood for maintaining health, productivity, prevention of diet-related diseases, and to support pregnancy and lactation for women. And during old age, food is very important for being physically active and healthy. So how the food is important in all the lifestyle. Usually what we think generally, the children need more amount of food, then school going people are, I think they need more amount of food, and let's all what is it we can have. No, but nowadays we are talking so much about then regarding the non-communicable disease during adulthood. Later we shall be discussing about it. So food and nutrition is important at all the stages of life. So coming to the concept of balanced diet, many of us know that what is balanced diet and how do we eat, or we have heard of it or we have read of it, the balanced diet. So let us see what is balanced diet then. A balanced diet is one which provides all the nutrients in required amounts and proper proportions. It can easily be achieved through a blend of 4 basic food groups. Usually we say 4: cereals and legumes and fruits and vegetables and milk and dairy, all these 4 food groups. The quantities of foods needed to meet the nutrient requirements vary with the age, just now what I said, gender, maybe male or female, physiological status, maybe the person has undergone some surgeries, or maybe during pregnancy or lactation, which is usually called as physiological status. Then the physical activity. Physical activity means, you can say you may be a sports person, you may be doing a heavy physical activity, or you are just sedentary worker, or you are moderate worker. Based on this, the food requirement usually changes. So then what is this? A balanced diet should provide around 50 to 60% of total calories from carbohydrates, preferably from complex carbohydrates, then about 10 to 15% from proteins, and 20 to 30% from both visible and invisible fat. Later we'll be discussing more about this. In addition, how a balanced diet should be? A balanced diet should contain non-nutrients like dietary fiber, then antioxidants. Nowadays we are talking so much of functional foods. These antioxidants and phytochemicals, they all are termed as functional foods. So the balanced diet should also have, along with the nutrients, these non-nutrients which are really good for Health. Then why do we need this nutritional adequate diet? Nutrients that we obtain through food have vital roles, effects on physical growth and development, maintenance of normal body's function, physical activity and health. And nutritious food thus needed to sustain life and physical activity. Our diet must provide all essential nutrients. It's very important. Hence, requirements again changes or varies from age, gender, physiological status, and physical activity. Coming to then, how much should I eat? Because where do I fall? Whether I am a sedentary worker or a moderate worker, heavy worker. Dear friends, all of you can just go through this table recommended by ICMR, classification of activities based on occupation. All teaching staff, we come under sedentary work. We do not do much of physical activity at all. See, who all come under sedentary? The teachers, male and female. Teacher, tailor, barber, executive, shoemaker, priest, retired personnel, landlord, peon, postman, computer, so and so. Female again, teacher, tailor, barber, executive, housewife, computer, all teachers come under sedentary worker. So when sedentary worker means our calories requirements are too low. But what happens usually? We do less physical activity and we deposit more amount of concentrated foods. Then coming to moderate activities, who all come under moderate activities? Fisherman, basket maker, potter, goldsmith, agricultural labor, carpenter, mason, electrician, fielder, welder, coolie, driver, industrial. They all come under the moderate. Under female section, maid, coolie, basket maker, agricultural labor, beading maker, brick maker. Under heavy, stone worker, blacksmith, mine workers, wood cutters. So they all come under heavy work. So that is why they are always low. You see, they are emaciated heavily. They do not have at all the adipose tissues, wherein we sedentary workers, we have a lot of adipose tissue all over the body. Coming to this is the very latest recommendation by the ICMR NIN, like how much during the COVID-19 pandemic they have released this table. So how much of food groups we have to consume on daily basis. This table usually gives about every day 2000 kilocalories, most sufficient for the sedentary workers. So when it is coming to cereals, cereals means usually all this jowar, wheat, rice, all rice, brown rice and millet. Pulses, legumes about 90 grams and milk products, say curds and buttermilk about 300 ml. Then vegetables about 350 grams, you can say. So each one of us should have, when it is 350 means more than a quarter kg of vegetables we have to consume on daily basis. Just friends, think how much vegetables are we taking every day. Then fruits around 150 grams, nuts and seeds nowadays, because a lot of research is going on nuts and oilseeds which have very good properties on functional. So they have to have about 20 grams per day, and then fats and oils. So including visible fats and invisible fats about 27 grams. Coming to one by one nutrients, let us say energy. As I say already, the high energy food groups usually come from the fats. They come from the carbohydrates. Again, in the carbohydrates also we have a simple carbohydrates and we have a complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates, something like a rice, very refined carbohydrates, say rice flour or rice flakes or maida or corn flour. All the flour forms, they are easily digested, so they are called as simple carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates means which have a complex in nature, means they have a lot of anti-nutrient, they have a lot of fiber in it, so that when we take the complex carbohydrate, a release of maybe the sugar is very low, so thereby usually it is advised for diabetics and all. So energy, how much of we should have? So again, sedentary, moderate and heavy, 2320, 2730 for moderate and 3490 for heavy workers for men. For women, you see 1009, say about 2000 kilocalories, and moderate 2230, and for heavy workers 2850. So we get all this complex, or we can say concentrated source of energy from the fats and oils, and we get from the legumes, we get from the whole cereals. Coming to the protein, very important with respect to now COVID-19 pandemic. we have to have, I think all of us have become some more or the other, the doctors by ourselves. So protein is very important. As you all know, protein builds immunity, protein you have to, because why protein? Because protein is essential for growth and development of each and every cell of the body. Because each and every tissue is made up of protein, amino acids. So protein is important because when you have an ample amount of protein in the body, naturally it creates a good immunity system. So then how much amount of protein we have to have? For example, usually this is the standard protein. So for example, like for a woman it is sedentary. If she is sedentary, 55. Then if a man, if he is sedentary, 60. Or basically overall the NIN recommendation, National Institute of Nutrition, that is a pioneer institute for nutrition, what they recommend is 1 gram per kg body weight or 0.5 gram to 1 gram per kg body weight. Like suppose if I am weighing 60 kilo, then my recommendation is about 60 grams per day. In this way, we have to have a protein requirement on daily basis. Then coming to what are the protein rich foods? So protein rich foods are usually come from the milk and milk products. Then non-vegetarian foods are all protein rich. Then legumes are very good sources of protein rich. Then nuts and oil seeds are very good sources of protein. Then cereals also very good source of protein, provided if the cereals and taken along with the pulses, or cereals taken along with the egg, cereals taken along with the milk and milk products, then protein is very much useful for the body. Because this protein is very sensitive, we can say. You might feel like maybe in your family one person very shy to go to the market alone, something like that. This protein is, because the protein molecule is made up of 21 amino acids. Friends, when you take all 21 amino acids, then protein is formed in the body. Keep it in mind. So you may say that, yes, I have taken protein, why my immunity level is so low? Because here I am giving you tips. Protein is such a thing that we have to have, there are a classification, complete protein and incomplete protein. All non-vegetarian foods come under complete protein, and all vegetarian proteins come under partial complete protein. So whenever, because if I am a vegetarian, then I will not be consuming non-vegetarian food on daily basis. So I am having only vegetarian. So maybe I am having some dal. So only dal, because though we say dal, legumes are good source of protein, but when legume is mixed along with the cereal, or when legume mixed along with the egg, when legume mixed along with the buttermilk or curds, then only it becomes a complete protein, and that protein definitely has an impact on the development of immunity in the body. Otherwise, rest all the protein may go as a deposit of fat. So that is the one thing which we all have to remember carefully about the protein whenever we take a protein rich food. Coming to the fat. So usually the recommendation, the NIN recommendation, they have said kept the fat recommendation very low. Why? I'll tell you, because whether knowingly or unknowingly, we use lot of fat in our daily diet. So they have restricted minimum, say about 20 grams per day of fat recommendations. But usually whenever we do the nutrition surveys, whenever we do the 24 hours recall method, our protein, our fat goes up to 50 grams and 60 grams. So there definitely we have got to use fat judiciously. While choosing the fat, then what kind of fats should be used? So we have usually the fats and oils which are available in our daily today market. Okay, fats means solid at room temperature. Oils are liquid at room temperature. So oils are better than fats always. Okay. Then oil also, which kind of oil you must use? That's very important. Okay. So oil which have a high smoking point, oil which have a lot of MUFA, mono unsaturated fatty acids, and oil which have a PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids. Okay. Then these fats should be taken low. Say for example, what are those fats? Fats means butter, then ghee, dalda, vanaspati. Such fats should be avoided. Even the animal fats should be avoided. Then fat or liquid oil, for example, it may be a groundnut oil, It may be a sunflower oil, it may be a safflower oil, it may be olive oil, it may be a rice bran oil. Nowadays it's coming, it be a rice bran oil or a soybean oil. All these oils can be used. So a thought may come into your mind like, then what kind of, which oil is best? Then because in my home I'm using this and this and this. So then being a nutritionist, what do you prefer? Which oil I should be using? So dear friends, it's not like that, because we cannot say that this oil is best always, because each oil nature unique by itself. So we have got to use all the oil in a cycle. For example, if you are a 4-member in a family, okay, 4 people, okay, then if you are using 3 liters of oil in a month, it's very good. Your oil consumption pattern is very good. Otherwise, usually we say 800 to 900 ml per head per month. For example, if you are 4 family members, then 4 kgs of oil you can use, not more than that. So in that 4 kgs of oil, once like 1 week, suppose if 4 kgs oil is divided into say 4 weeks. So 1 week use rice bran, 1 week sunflower, 1 week soybean, 1 week safflower, something like that. Try to use mixed oil, because each oil has its own unique pattern of giving the structural mufa and PUFA. So if you use only one oil throughout, then you may get trouble later, not immediately, later. So whenever you are using oil, be very judicious in using the oil. Then try to use the mixed pattern. Don't mix all the oil, but use one oil at a time. Then you should make use of the best oil that is available. Coming to the minerals, okay, among minerals you have the maximum what we talk of is again calcium. Again, this calcium also we have had talked so much during pandemic. Why calcium is essential? Because whenever we take calcium, simultaneously we have got to take enough amount of protein. Then only calcium is best absorbed, and calcium also plays an important role in boosting the immunity system. So how much of calcium do we need? About 400 to 600 mg per day for an adult, and during physiological conditions, again it is different. Say then around each one of us should have 300 ml of milk, which gives really good amount of calcium. Why we usually say, see, when you were young also you were given milk. Now also adulthood you don't like milk, so you stop drinking milk. It should not be like that. And especially for the all women staff, I would like to highlight here, all of us should have minimum of say 1 glass of milk every day to maintain our bone. Otherwise, because why only milk? We can get the calcium from other foods also, like we have a calcium rich foods. But what is a unique pattern in milk is, milk has another one sugar called as a lactose. So that lactose plays a very important role in the absorption of calcium maximum. Because you may say, so as I said now, everyday calcium, how much we have to take? About 500 milligrams of calcium. So then if I take up 500 milligrams on the paper, okay, I have taken not 500 milligrams today, I have taken 1000 milligrams. So it's a calcium rich. My dear friends, whenever we take on the paper the calculations of the calcium intake, the absorption in the human body is only just 25 to 30%. Rest all the 70% of the calcium that we have taken is being excreted in the stools. So keeping this in mind, so we have got to be very much selective while taking the calcium. So all our legumes are good sources of, all our green leaf, especially my spinach is very good, my aloo is good, then lettuce, good source, then all nuts and oilseeds are good source of, paneer is a good source. So you have an ample amount of, calcium is available, but that calcium should be absorbed in the body, along with some amount of protein. So in that way, the milk and milk products plays an important role for the better absorption of calcium. Coming to the iron, another very sensitive, iron which we must talk during a pandemic. So you all know why this iron, because the basic or fundamental function of iron is to give the oxygen to the target cells. So and definitely at that time we have a low oxygen level during pandemic. So we have oximeters, we have got to check our oxygen levels will be going down. Excuse me. So when we have enough amount of iron in the body, it expels good amount of oxygen, and it takes the all the blood to target cells and gets back the carbon dioxide back to lungs for the excretion. So iron is very important. Again, iron, how much of iron is essential? So for iron requirement is about 17 milligram and 20 milligram for the women. Why for women it is higher? It is because women will be losing some amount of iron during her menstrual cycle. So enough amount. Again, this iron is also very mischievous. Very mischievous means very some kind of escapism party. This iron is. I'll tell you. So though we say like we have iron abundant rich foods around us, but majority of us, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, region, and income, all of us suffer from anemia. So that is why Government of India has done a lot of prophylaxis intervention measures for combating anemia in India. But still all of us suffer because, as I said in the beginning, iron is very mischievous. Why it is mischievous? So these are all the iron rich foods. So for example, basically all non-vegetarian foods are very good source of iron, and among the vegetarians we have watermelon, all seeds. Seeds means you can say nuts and seeds. So it may be almonds, it may be cashews, they are good source. Then what about the poor people or men who can have this iron? Definitely iron, we have good source of iron from the jaggery, we have from potato, we have from the beans. All beans have got a good source of iron. So then all citrus fruits, though they have good amount of vitamin C, but whatever the amount of iron is there in the body, they will absorb in a maximum way. So coming to this, what I was talking about, this iron mischievous nature. So what is this? Heme iron versus non-heme iron. Heme iron means which usually is found in the non-vegetarian foods. So comparatively, the iron status or hemoglobin status, or you can say oxygen levels are better those who consume non-vegetarian foods. Again, the non-vegetarian foods should be eaten judiciously, not using lot of fats and not using lot of spices. Something like a blands and soups, such kinds can be made and can be had or consumed to get the better amount of iron for immunity boosters. Then people like us vegetarians, then we cannot thrive on the non-vegetarian foods. And how do we have this good amount of iron in our day-to-day life? Then coming to the vegetarian foods. Under the vegetarian foods, then how iron should be made available, best iron made available to the body. Iron is also just absorbed, say about 5 to 6% of iron is absorbed from the daily requirement, and rest all is being excreted. So then how to facilitate the absorption of iron? So absorption of iron is usually facilitated by drinking the citrus fruits. For example, either a pineapple juice or a Mosambi juice or orange juice or a lemon juice or sprouts, any cereals, any cereals or any pulses can be sprouted and can be had along with a little bit lemon juice and little sugar or little chili powder and salt, makes very delicious and which gives a lot of iron to the body. Then another classic example of iron from the vegetarian is what you call this dink laddu weaker. In Uttara Karnataka we say antinunde. So antinunde is made of lot of nuts and gum and alvi. Garden cress seed is usually. Garden cress seed has a highest amount of iron, though the absorption is low, but when you consume repeatedly, the absorption may increase better. So this dink laddu, which is really good source of iron, and what do you call this uttatti? Dates, dry dates are also very good source of iron. Then jaggery is a good source of iron. Groundnuts laddu or groundnut chutney, what we make, that's also very good source of iron. So in this way, and all green leafy vegetables, say mayalu or maybe spinach, maybe amaranthus. Amaranthus in Karnataka, in Uttar Kannada we say ಹರಿವೆ ಪಲ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಲ್ಯ ಅಂತ, ಕೆಂಪು ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೀನ್ both it comes in red color and in green color. So that is also very good source of iron. So such kinds should be used on day-to-day basis to meet the iron requirement of a day. Coming to the zinc, so very popular mineral, I think, during pandemic about the zinc. Being a nutritionist, even we never talked of zinc so much, though we knew the fundamental function of iron is, you know what? It is to remove the carbon dioxide from the target cells and expel from the body. So that is why during pandemic it took lot of importance. You never got the zinc tablets in the medical shops. Now, of course, we are getting. So this is the major, like earlier we discussed about the iron. The iron, what is the fundamental function of iron? Iron to carry the oxygen to the target tissues. And what is the function of zinc? Zinc, it will get back the carbon dioxide and expel it outside. So that is why zinc took a very importance during pandemic. So otherwise we never discussed about, because zinc is usually, all the food groups are having good amount of zinc. So very recently, even I too did a lot of research and went through papers, and we could do some small project on zinc rich foods and zinc, like how to retain, how to modify the zinc rich foods and how to maintain the zinc absorption in the body better way. So we came across all our cereals, especially the millets, like say like what you call ragi, okay, then bajra, then Italian millet and foxtail millet. All millets are very good source of zinc. And another very interesting what we came across in zinc is zinc is very sensitive to very high temperature. So for example, if we boil the zinc rich foods more than 100 degrees centigrade, then zinc availability in the body is so less. So the best is to have the zinc at the very low temperature cooking, say below 100 degrees should be. Or the best is like make something zinc raw zinc, have some kind of salads or something like sprouts. Okay, so zinc availability is better. Of course, during pandemic, we got the zinc supplementation also, but we should not thrive so much on supplementation on regular basis. Maybe you can have, say, 1 week, then stop it. And we have to have the zinc only from the food groups. So all green leafy vegetables are very good sources of zinc. All nuts are very good sources of zinc. Then all cereals and pulses are very good sources of zinc. Coming to the vitamins, so vitamin A is usually say retinol, which is present in the non-vegetarian foods, and beta carotene is present in the vegetarian foods. So what are all the vitamin A rich foods? Usually say whenever we talk of the vitamin A is good for eye, we say. Then apart from that, vitamin A is essential for the making a epithelial tissue very beautiful and shining, that is outside skin. So it is usually called as vitamin A, and vitamin E is usually called as beautifying vitamins. Why? Because they maintain epithelial cells beautiful and very enhancing kind. So then what are the vitamin A rich foods? Again, when coming to the vitamin A rich foods, beta carotene means yellow orange fruits and vegetables are very good source of beta carotene. Then vitamin A means it is present in the animal sources. They're all non-vegetarian foods, milk and milk products, egg, poultry, fish are good sources of vitamin A. Then beta carotene and carotene. Carotene is present in all the green leafy vegetables, amaranthus, spinach, bogu, and then shepu, sabbaski, what we call. All this, they have carotenes. So vitamin A, when we take vitamin A, ample amount of vitamin A, there is not much, because usually you don't have any, what you call, vitamin A is very stiff. When you come in contact with either heat or sunlight or anything, it is very stiff. Everything, whatever we take, that is being absorbed. So there is not much problem with the assimilation of vitamin A. Coming to another important a nutrient which we talked and I think every day we are having is about vitamin C. Why this vitamin C took a lot of gain? So we knew that it is not that, now we know the importance of vitamin C. So for the better absorption of zinc, better absorption of iron, means both are blood related. So vitamin C is essential. Friends, I'll just give you one example. All of you would have noticed this. The same thing happens even into our body. Maybe we all are South Indians, so we never go, sometimes we go to South Indian dishes to have the meals outside. But we always love to have the food of North Indian. So we go to North Indian canteens, restaurants and have food. At the end of, serving, what is usually given to you all? Finger bowl. Okay, so that finger bowl has what? It has a piece of just vitamin C, that is lemon, and a warm water, not very hot water also. So what do? The minute you put your fingers into that and scrub, what happens? You all have experience. I think I need not tell you that. So immediately the fat that is adhering to your fingers goes out. The same thing happens, friends, when you take very warm water and the vitamin C into our body. So it removes the the fat that is deposited. So that is why vitamin C means it clears the arteries, the internal walls of the body. So that is why vitamin C is gained a lot of importance during the pandemic. We must have, because it also kills the germs. It also takes away all the unwanted things, the greasy things, because when there is a grease, there is a dirt. When there is a dirt, there is a contamination. When there is a contamination, then there is an infection. So when there is a vitamin C is there, it takes away all this grease, it takes away the contamination, it takes away the infection. So naturally the person become healthy soon. So that is why vitamin C is very important again on day to day. Why? Vitamin C is not stored in the body. Why other vitamins are not given much importance? Only this, because it comes under water soluble vitamins. They are not stored in the body. So we have to replenish the vitamin C on daily basis. Yes, today I had a lot of citrus fruits and tomorrow I need not have, nothing like that. You have to have a vitamin C on regular basis. So what are all the vitamin C rich foods? All citrus fruits, you all know about it. I think more than you would have done a lot of experiments on vitamin C. All the citrus fruits have a very good source of vitamin C. The best, the cheap and the best is a lemon. So we do not go and buy, costly foods. You can purchase the less economical fruits and vegetables which we grow around us, and we can have an ample amount of vitamin C. Then apart from that, vitamin C is also available from the sprouts. If you are vegetarian, soak every day one or the other legume and cereal, soak it, sprout it and have it. That's also a very good amount of, it has a good amount of vitamin C. Tomatoes are a very good source of vitamin C. Berries are a very good source of vitamin C. Papayas are a very good source of vitamin C. Though potatoes are a very good source of vitamin C, but potato, when you boil it, vitamin C usually gets evaporated, because vitamin C again is very sensitive to heat and sunlight. Then coming to vitamin B12. So this recommendation is also about 1 gram. Why I am talking here also? Vitamin B12 also is related to blood. Okay, deficiency of vitamin B12 also leads to the anemia. But vegetarians should be very careful about the taking of it, because vitamin B12 is available only from the non-veg food. The source of vitamin B12 is a non-veg food. But very recently they have come across this the flaxseed. Flaxseed, agse, what we call in Uttar Karnataka, we make a lot of chutneys out of it, and almonds. So they are also having some good amount of this omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which in turn will give a better sources of vitamin B12 in the body. Then coming to B complex vitamins. So these vitamins also took a lot of importance during the pandemic. So what are the B complex vitamins? Thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, pyridoxine, pantothenic acid, folic acid, choline and biotin. And this side you see, the right side, all these rich sources. What are the rich sources of B complex? Like whole cereals and pulses, yeast And rice polishings and mushrooms are very good source of B complex, egg and dairy products and nuts and vegetables. But only thing is, these B complex, again vitamins, are very sensitive to sunlight and heat. Preferably, they should have like raw kind of, something. That is why our diet, how it should be, 50% cooked and 50% raw. Then only we can have this. But we can definitely can have this B complex vitamins. We can make a course, say about for 7 days or 15 days, then stop. Should not always depend on the taking of supplementation on regular basis. Take it for 5 days or 7 days and stop it. Then go for the balanced diet. That's very important. Coming to very important aspect of hydration, majority of the time, usually we don't drink adequate amount of water. So by not drinking adequate amount of water, we invite so many unwanted guests to our body system. Okay, then how will I know that if I'm becoming dehydrated? Warning signs are headache, fatigue, confusion, nausea, muscle cramps, dizziness, decreased stamina, speed, energy, muscle strength with respect to the sports persons. These are all the, what you call, the dehydration warning signs. Then how much of water should I drink? So here what we have to talk about, the most of the time we neglect the drinking of water. So we know that when we ask the questions, so how much of water we should drink on daily basis, means all of you tell that, yes, we have to drink about 2 liters of water or 3 liters of water. Then how do you ensure drinking the 2 liters of water, 3 liters of water? Just think yourself and try to recall right from morning today. And now it is almost, I think, 4:15. How much of water you have drunk? It's very low, not even 1 liter, very dangerous thing. So every day, how you have to ensure then? At least every 1 hour, you have to have 1 glass of minimum water. So from morning, say about 6 o'clock or from 6 until the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you have to keep on drinking water and water and water. So what are the advantages of water? Advantages of water is a natural lubricant, natural cleanser, okay? Natural something, it is a detoxifier. So whatever the food we take, irrespective of its nature, the toxins are produced after the end of all the metabolisms, maybe protein metabolism, fat metabolism or carbohydrate metabolism. So when you take adequate amount of water, it flushes, something like that. I think very simple way to give you example is, if we use our toilets and flush and come, toilet is clean. If you do not flush and come, it starts stinking. The same thing, body is as a mobile toilet. If you keep on drinking good amount of water and expel yourself in the form of stools and urine, then you're excreting the toxins from the body. You're always healthy. Otherwise, what happens? Dehydration signs are shown in your disordering of metabolism, or maybe it is shown on your skin, eruptions of boils, eruptions of the patches, eruptions, so many things. So for not drinking adequate amount of water. So even though whether it is a monsoon or a winter or a summer, based on the climatic conditions, minimum you have to have a 2 liters, 2.5 liters, 3 liters, 3.5 liters, depending upon your physical activity. If you are doing a lot of physical activity, exercises, you have to drink simultaneously, you have to replenish the body with good amount of water. So now let us discuss, because all of us, I think, are almost above 40s and all. So I will not go in detail about the diseases, but non-communicable diseases, because nowadays we are coming across these non-communicable, usually NCDs we call, a lot of NCDs, even in a highly educated population. So I thought, let me just brush through, not in detail, let me just brush through the importance of diet during non-communicable diseases. So pandemic is a communicable, so highly contagious and highly communicable, and these are all the obesity and diabetes and CVDs and cancer, all it's non-communicable. So you see, from Manganinda Manava, what we usually call Manganinda Manava, you see, from the Manga Manava it came because Manava became again obese person because of change in our dietary habits. So as you all know, when should I call myself as obese? So when for respective height for weight is more than the 20% of the respective height, then a person, he or she, is said to be or obese. Okay, once the obesity start getting inside, naturally, slowly we start inviting all other guests. So it may be a diabetes, it may be a hypertension, it may be a cardiovascular. Automatically, they will come and stand in front of your door. They will start knocking, and sometimes without knocking, they enter your home. So usually, this is the basal mass index in a most body mass index. Most of you know about it. That is a normal weight for height is 18.5, 24.9, usually called as a normal weight people. Overweight means it is index when it falls 25 to 30, it is usually overweight. Obese means when BMI is more than 30, then they are said to be obese. Usually we see in metros and all, the obesity is more common than in the cities and towns. How the weight management? Very simple is maintaining 1,000 kilocalories per day. See, for example, as I said in the beginning, so being adults, so being a sedentary workers, we have to have our calorie restriction only to 2,000 kilocalories, provided if you are not doing very sports activities and all. And suppose if I want to reduce my weight, I want to maintain my weight, maybe I'm 70, I want to reduce to 65 or 60, 10 kgs I want to reduce, then cut down your calories from 2000 to 1000 kilocalories. Then I do a lot of physical activity. Then what happens? Weight management is easily done. So increase the intake of unrefined foods. So unrefined means complex carbohydrates. As I said in the beginning, to take a lot of complex carbohydrates. Increase the intake of whole grains than the refined grains. Then avoid trans fats and saturated fats and use of omega-3. Then include fresh fruits and vegetables daily. Include functional foods. What are the functional foods? We shall just go through in the next coming slides. Then drink plenty of fluids, as I said just now we discussed about it. And avoid alcoholic and caffeine beverages. Should not be a dieting. Should not do dieting. Should not do skipping of the meals. Such things should not be done. And coming to the diabetes mellitus, every third person will have a diabetes and mellitus, and majority of the time this diabetes mellitus is psychosomatic. Psychosomatic means what? Psycho means mind, soma means body. A lot of stress, a lot of worries, a lot of leading a life very principled. I want the life to be like this. Prototype people. Type 1 type of people and type 2 type of people. Type 1 type of people means very highly objective oriented, highly principled, very disciplined, goal oriented. They want the things to be done, undergo a lot of stress, family stress, professional stress, so many stress. So usually such people will get. Type 2 people are very easygoing, keep their medium, goals very comfortable, then try to achieve them with smiling and loving and that kind, very easygoing. They are type 2 people. So in the type 2 people, getting diabetes is a bit less when you compare to diabetes. And many people have the habit, no, because my mother had a diabetes or my father had a diabetes, so I got it. So preconceived ideas. Anyway, I'll be getting it, so I got it. No, it is not like that. Suppose if your father got it or your mother got it, means it's not necessary that you have to get it. It is only because of your lifestyle, the change in lifestyle, that you have invited that problem. So best is always try to prevent the getting diabetes or hypertension right from the age of 25, not after getting. Usually what do? When we diagnose the sugar is more or hypertension, the BP is more, blood pressure is high, then we start doing walking, we start doing dieting. Do that right from the age of 25, then you can keep away all these problems at far. Then in a very short way, giving the dietary tips for the diabetes. Take methi seeds, soaked methi seeds everyday basis. It will really act as an insulin. And you have real insulin leaves are available around us, our nature. Let us go towards nature and have. Millets are very good source of high fiber. Have millets and fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables and whole legumes. So bitter gourd and lady's finger, green leafy vegetables means it's not that you don't know all this. You know all this. But only thing is when it comes to practicing, you don't do that. What is usually most of the time we go for a party, we go for a treats and all. Okay, taking a lot of sweets and say, hey, it's all I take today. What is there? Take again tablets. That should not be the attitude. Make your life, especially with diabetics, have all these methi seeds and millets then bitter gourd and lady's finger, green leaf vegetable beans on your daily routine. Try to cut down your sugar. It's not that entirely you should not take a sweets, nothing like that. You should not take a banana, nothing like that. You should not eat papaya, nothing like that. You can have everything, all the food groups, but in a judicious way. Coming to osteoporosis, this is especially the slides and comment slides I dedicate for all the women staff of JC Engineering College. Why? Because we women after 40 suffer from this osteoporosis. Men usually do not suffer much of the osteoporosis. Usually they suffer later, say about after 55s and 60s. But we women, usually by 35, 40, after having 1 or 2 pregnancies, start suffering from calcium deficiency leading to osteoporosis. As the record itself says, 1 in 3 women over 50 will experience osteoporotic fractures, whereas female ratio you say 1:6. Okay. So what are the dietary tips for keeping away the osteoporosis? It is nothing but taking high calcium rich food, especially drinking milk. Whether you like milk or don't like milk, you ladies should drink milk on regular basis every day, either in the morning or in the evening. Then protein-rich foods should be supplemented with the calcium-rich foods, and isoflavones are usually present in the soybeans. Nowadays, very lot of research is done on soybeans. So the principal active component, that's a functional food. Soybean is usually termed as functional food. It has isoflavones. These isoflavones have a direct impact on the osteoporotic bones. So it will not make the bone more fragile. What is this osteoporosis? Means making the bone more fragile. So immediately when you meet with a jerk, small jerk also, we meet with the fractures. So that is usually avoided by taking this. Then vitamin D. We do not expose ourselves to sunlight. At least vitamin D supplementation must be taken. Then regular physical exercise. We usually ladies, we do not do this. Most of the time I take a lot of burden. The whole family is running only because of me, because only I am there, keeping my ego very high. No, nothing like that. Physical activity is a must. Doing yoga is a must. Being a stress-free life is a must. Keep some space and time for yourself, doing physical activity or yoga to keep your bone always fresh and not fragile. Another very important, very common what we hear is a hypertension. And naturally, usually hypertension, say 120/80, and if you are 50 years and if you are having 140 also no problem. If you are 60, if you are having your systolic blood pressure 160 also no problem, but diastolic should be 80. If it is 90, then it is usually said to be a high blood pressure. Keep that in your mind, and most of the time usually there is a lot of commercialization of this hypertension drugs. So once you start taking these drugs, means you have to go on taking continuously, lifelong. The doctor forces you to take these tablets or drugs lifelong. So the best dietary tips for keeping away the hypertension is a low sodium foods, avoid pickles and processed, because most of the processed foods for this, salt, NaCl is used as predominantly as a preservative. So naturally a lot of salt you will be taking unknowingly. Then all these masala and spicy foods and all these non-vegetarian foods are made out of using masala foods and lot of fat and lot of unwanted fat. So that all will lead to, not in one day or two, maybe in progression. Maybe you got the hypertension at the age of 40-45, means it would have started somewhere slowly in the age of 35. So it is not like what the nutrition is, what you eat tomorrow, today is shown tomorrow. No, it is not like a pandemic. Pandemic means immediately it is shown within 14 days. But this non-communicable disease is usually shown after, say, about 5 years and 6 years. Another diabetic disease is called as a cancer. So nowadays, all of you have talked a lot of cancer. So how to counteract the cancer with the functional foods, I shall just discuss in later slides. Then coming to the cardiovascular diseases. So these cardiovascular diseases, a set of cardiovascular diseases, usually there are 4 to 5 types of cardiovascular diseases. So general people, we do not know, we only talk of the heart problems. So usually during aging, as the aging increases, the arteries become, very, weak. So naturally we say why we have to undergo a lot of physical activity, means to keep our arteries and the muscles, strengthening. So that is why you have got to do some kind of physical activity. So men are generally a greater risk of heart disease. However, women's risk increase after menopause. So as long as we are safe having estrogen, progesterone as a hormones, women are safe. But once the menopause, usually our body system also equally becomes like a man. Then diabetes, as I said, diabetes, rest all the people will invite these heart diseases. So diabetes increases the risk of heart diseases. Now, coming to the important function, what do I think you all would have heard of these functional foods. So, what are these functional? When we say function, it means something like that, it is working. Okay, what are the functions of this and this and this? We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like in the food, also, we have some kind of foods which are live even inside the body. So, they are called as functional foods. So, what are the attributes? So, what are the characteristics? So they act as a antioxidants, they act as a detoxifying agents, they act as a blocking agents, they act as a suppressing agents. For example, antioxidants are usually treated for the treatment of cancer. So because what happens in the cancer, how cancer cells are formed in the body? Cancer cells are formed in the body means body thinks cancer cells as its own. It will not fight against. How it fights against corona? So when corona comes means antibodies are formed. Immediately the body recognizes, no, it is not mine. Somebody invader, somebody outsider has entered my body. So I have to fight. But whereas with respect to cancer, body will not fight against cancer. Body will think that cancer cells are my own. So it will start giving, space for the development of cancer cells. And we don't come to know that cancer would have started in the age of 40 and we get to know about the symptoms at the age of 50 because the body system is like that. It will tolerate until when it cannot, then it will start showing some signs and symptoms. So at that time it would be second stage, end of second stage or third stage, and later you all know. So what are the role of this antioxidant means? They act as antioxidant means they reduce the oxidant, that is a single oxygen that will excrete these functional foods. They excrete these carcinogens. They are formed because of cancer cells. So they will fight against these cancer cells. So they are called as functional food. For example, all these fruits and vegetables nowadays we talk of the cancer cells. Curcumin from the turmeric, they say it is a very good cancer attacking curcumin in this way. So detoxifying agents means the toxins are produced because we eat the food with a lot of heavy pesticides, lot of fertilizers, lot of contaminants, intentionally, unintentionally, lot of chemicals, lot of processed food which has a preservatives and additives and so many chemicals. From the day one, from the morning until go to bed, we take a lot of chemicals. So naturally these chemicals are stored in the body. So some are the foods and vegetables. What do? They remove these unwanted toxins that are present in the liver and they're excreted through the kidneys and through the large intestine. So they're called the detoxifying agent. Blocking agent, suppressing agent means they make these foods, the elevation of some or the other unwanted, chemicals, they stop, suppress. For example, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. This triglycerides level should not be more than 150. Cholesterol should not be more than 250 or 200 milligram per DL. So these foods, they suppress the level of the high sugar from the body, glucose, then high cholesterol, then high triglycerides level. So those foods are called as a blocking agents and suppressing agents. So what are those then? So some of the foods which act as a dietary antioxidants are vitamin E, then selenium foods, cysteine and methionine, sulfur containing amino acids, riboflavin, beta carotene, what we discussed earlier, all this. So where are they present? They are present in tomatoes, they are present in papaya, they are present in yellow orange vegetables, what we talk. They are present in soybeans, they are present in radish, they are present in beetroot. So all these dietary antioxidants. Then vitamin C, green leafy vegetables, citrus fruits, then cereals and cereal products, meat, seafoods and cereals, liver, mushroom, nuts and chocolates. They all have good amount of source of dietary antioxidants. So these are some of the dry fruits which have a good amount of antioxidants activity in the body. Then these are all some of the roots and tubers and vegetables have a good amount of antioxidants, say all beetroot and carrot and onions, colocasia, spring onions, potato, radish, sweet potato, tapioca, yam, beans. And one another very important thing I want to say, I don't like this vegetable, I don't like that vegetables, especially I say in all the families and all, especially men have more preferences and dislikes than women. Women are accepted, they just want to have anything, they will have. But when it comes to men, no, this he doesn't like. Let us not prepare this. Basically, it is come from the blood only, from the beginning itself. So we should not have that, because no single food is miraculous food. Keep in mind, no single food is a complete by its nature. When we take all the foods together, then only it's a complete. So if you are not liking that food, if you are not taking that food, means you are avoiding some of the unique nutrient pattern present in that food. For example, most of us do not like brinjal. Earlier also, brinjal, what is brinjal? It's a very common vegetable, it should not be. But very recently, a lot of research is done. Brinjal, it has anthocyanins, it has, see here, 150 DPPH. It's a very good source of antioxidants. We have to have a brinjal on daily basis, something like that. So all fruits and vegetables we have to have. And here's antioxidant activity of fruits. So guava, 891. Friends, I want to give you here one good example of the local, how our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji talks of go for local. And even we, with respect to food, also go for local. We never go and purchase guavas and amlas, Indian plum. Indian plum means what? Barehannu, what we call here locally, Mysore, or what it's called as. So these are all very cheap, and sometimes outside they are available. And what do you call this? Jamul, Nerle Hannu. These are all very cheap, and we never purchase. And for bananas, we go and purchase kiwi fruit, which we don't grow here. We go and purchase apple, which we don't grow here. And you see the guava, how much antioxidant property it has, almost 891. Then comes the Barehannu, Indian plum, about 500. Then mangoes, then orange. So pomegranate. So we have to have the food that we grow around us. We grow around us. So apple, it's a prestigious, 200, 300 rupees kgs. We go to market and purchase it and have it. For what? With lot of pesticides, with lot of chemicals on the apple, we eat it. Not necessarily we can have guavas, we can have amlas, we can have chikus, we can have bananas, and so on. Apple we don't grow. It's grown in Himachal Pradesh. From the Himachal Pradesh, it has to come to the Bangalore. From the Bangalore to Mysore, Mysore to market. From the market, the JC people, all your stuff have to go to more or somewhere, purchase it, bring it, get it to the table, clean it and cut it and have it and again refrigerate it. How fresh it is. Just imagine yourself. So just best is pluck from your garden, pluck from your yard, the guavas and amlas and have it, and lot of nutrition in that and health in that. So coming to this, my plate this is also given very recently during pandemic by the NI, National Institute of Nutrition, how a my plate should be. This is a concept of balanced diet. So on regular basis, you have to have all these things in one way or the other, right from the morning, breakfast and your lunch and snacks and dinner. These complete pulses and eggs and flesh foods, nuts and seeds, fats and oils and cereals and cereals, then vegetables and fruits have to have this abundantly. Only oils should have only 27 grams. Fruits and vegetables you can have more than a quarter kg. Each one of you, mind you, each one of you means in a whole day how much of vegetables you have to have. Just think of yourself. Let me skip this. So coming to this healthy eating, I think almost coming to the end of my slides. So healthy eating is very much to keep away ourselves with all the communicable disease, for example, COVID and non-communicable disease like NCDs. So eating a variety of nutritious food from the 5 groups is very important, as we shown earlier. Eating balanced diet is very important. Today I have had balanced diet, tomorrow I will not have me. That's not a thing, because we cannot maintain a healthy like that. Listening to your body eating when you are hungry, that's very important. Okay, your inner conscious. Then healthy eating is nothing but a strict diet plan. You have to have your own diet plan. Avoid skipping of meals avoid snacking and treats very often, very often, very heavy snacks and very heavy treats, reduce that, and try to have a fat-free diet and low carbohydrate diet and extremely high protein diet you should have. Okay, then coming to a healthy diet provides the vitamins and minerals and energize your body with needs to perform its best. Okay, when it's balanced only, the body will have a equilibrium. When there is an imbalance, means body also will have a inequilibrium. So thereby what happens? There will be low immunity, there will be low resistance power, there will be delayed in the wound healing, and so many other problems will come. So healthy diet can help lower your risk for diseases such as cancer and diabetes and heart diseases. So it is not one day show. Having a balanced diet is not one day show. It should be on a regular basis. Aim for 3 meals per day, maybe morning breakfast and lunch and dinner you can have in this way. Eat when you are hungry, stop when you are full. Need not be because Ayurveda and all they say should empty your stomach only when you are still you want to have, you have to stop it. Then choose a variety of foods. Don't eat the same food. Morning what you eat, don't carry that to your lunch. Then lunch also don't carry that to your dinner. Sometimes it may be difficult to make for all the women, working women, but try to make it somehow the food is balanced. Okay, because in our plate, as I said, in my plate, you have to have all the colors. It should have a red color, white color, green color, pink color, magenta color, all colors. Because each color has its own unique pattern of nutrients. When your plate is full of that, means you are eating that particular nutrient. If you're eating only same thing in a whole day, means you're getting on the same nutrients, you're not getting other nutrients, then it cannot be a balanced diet. So that is why variety of foods, then seasonal foods. What are the seasonal foods are available during that period? And nature is best made for that. So we have to have those seasonal fruits and vegetables more than the other unseasonal fruits and vegetables. Then select fruits and vegetables that are from different colors of the rainbow. As I said, aim to eat all recommended groups shown in my plate. Okay. Then breakfast, lunch, and snacks and dinner. Breakfast. So suppose we have to have a minimum, as I said, 3 to 4 cereals. For example, if you are had in the morning rice, afternoon try to have wheat, evenings try to have some millets, something like that. Try to have, don't have morning breakfast rice and afternoon rice and evening rice, no. Or morning also wheat, afternoon lunch wheat, at night dinner also wheat, no. Try to include 3 to 4 cereals in a day. For example, one rice or wheat or one Italian millet or bajra or jowar, something like that. So that what happens, all the nutrients you get in an appropriate way. So lunch also, it should be most of the time for everybody, for all the professionals, it's a box, tiffin box, or some maybe you may have in your hotels and restaurants. So lunch is usually, it should be a balance with curds and some kind of chapatis or rotis or parotas and one vegetable and one dal and raw vegetables must be there. Some sprouts must be there. Snack should be always light, preferably not having deep fried items. It's not that should not have deep fried items at all. But after 40s and 45s, try to reduce. If you love to eat mirchi bhajis or some pakodas, you may love to eat 4 or 5, try to reduce it to 1 or 2 like that. The dinner also should be always light. Try to have it before 9 o'clock. Then after 9 o'clock, at least dinner, women specific, have 1 glass of milk regularly. So this is all, remember, it's all about the balance. Balance is the key to healthy nutrition. Balanced diet is very important. Balance a variety of foods from all the food groups throughout the day. Then balance healthy meals and snacks with occasional treats. Balance nutrition with fun and physical activity. That's also very important. Then for you all, dear friends, take home message. There is no substitute for balanced diet throughout life. You have to have every day a balanced diet is a must. Okay, because during COVID-19, the spices and condiments took lot of importance, like making pepper tea, ginger tea, and adding cinnamon, adding then turmeric. All is good, but how much do we take? So those where activity is, when we take a lot. For example, we take just say about less than 5 grams, less than 3 grams, like that. So they are something like what you call energizing. They create a lot of sensitization to central nervous system, but ultimately having the food which contributes good amount of nutrients that we cannot forget. We have to have. So one need to follow the principles of balanced diet. A diet should not be too high in saturated fats like dalda, then butter, ghee like that. But ghee, you have to have a minimum 2 teaspoon, one either in the morning or in the evening. It's not that ghee you should not have at all. You have to have a ghee because ghee is good for health. Then too high in sodium should be avoided. Too high in processed food should be avoided. Too high in snacks food should be avoided because too high snacks when we eat, it is usually preferably deep fried, and we usually sometimes we try to skip the dinner. So thereby we are not taking good amount of nutrients to the body. Too low in antioxidants is not good. Too low in fiber foods is not good. Too low in BUFA and PFAS, mono unsaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Too low in protein, minerals, and vitamins is not good. So hence, adequacy, balance, and moderation based on physical activity is very important. So that is the thing. Then ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to remember your health is in your hand. Be the best doctor to your body. So always have a very good, cautious inner sense to your body, because any diseases, any disorders do not come suddenly. They will give you a sign, small symptoms, a small indications that you somewhere something is going wrong. Nothing will come. Hypertension will not come over the day. Cancer will not come over the day. Pandemic also will not come over the day. They will give you some indications and signs. So you are the best doctor. Try to sit silently and try to listen to your inner voice, where what how it is going, whether properly or good or bad. Physiological conditions, it will give some may, where either it will be a disturbed sleep, there will be a disturbed in the problem with the defecation, there will be disturbed in the eating pattern, there will be disturbed in the digestion pattern. They will show the indications. So when such indications come, immediately you have to be alert and visit to a nearby doctor and get yourself cured. And along with this balanced diet, it's a holistic. So physically being active is very important. Every day walking or running or cycling and swimming, depending upon your time availability and your hobbies. And take stairs and walk to work and sit less and more and more and move during working. So all these, when you keep yourself, definitely you can fight against all the diseases that we did not welcome at all. So at the end, I would like to give thanks to all the organizers having given me this opportunity to interact with you all, to talk to you all, and to share my little knowledge, whatever I had with you all. And in special thanks to Revanna sir, who called me over the phone and said, "Madam, you have to give me this talk on pandemic." I accepted. Thank you very much. And me being the professor, associate professor from the Women's University, we are always for women. So this for everybody, happy Navaratri. This Navaratri, let's pray that no Durga is aborted, no Saraswati is stopped from going to school, and no Lakshmi has to beg for money from husband, and no Parvati is sacrificed for dowry, no Sita has to suffer in silence, and no Kali is given a tube of fairness cream. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for such an informative and insightful session. Ma'am, we have few questions. Can we take that?
Yes, please.
Participant named by A. Kanirajan is asking, pumpkin seeds is full of zinc. If it's so, it is normally thrown away. But how do we intake it? How much?
Little bit louder, please, Rupa.
Okay. Kanirajan is asking,
Okay.
pumpkin seeds is full of zinc. Normally we throw away. How to intake it and how much to intake?
What is that? Drink?
Zinc, pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin, pumpkin. How to intake?
Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds.
Okay. Not able to hear you properly. Pumpkin seeds. Do you have to take or don't have?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Hello, pumpkin seeds?
Hello, ma'am.
Huh? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Huh?
Ma'am, she's asking about the pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds should be thrown away or should be used?
Is it full of zinc? Should be usually it has been thrown away. Should we
No, pumpkin seeds can be dried and it should be used. The outside, the layer, the hard layer should be removed, and inside the very soft, you have the seeds. Those seeds should be consumed. They are very good source of antioxidants. Pumpkin seeds, because whenever you make use of pumpkin, a lot of seeds you get it. So clean them nicely and dry them, sun dry them, and break. You get those inside small soft material, soft seeds. Those seeds can be consumed. On daily basis, it can be consumed. It's very good.
Okay. One more question from Hemalata Pogoswami. What is the impact on health by use of single kind of oil regularly?
Oil, different oils.
A single kind, same kind of oil regularly.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello. What is the impact of?
Impact on the health
Okay.
by the use of single kind of oil regularly.
Single oil.
Yeah, ma'am.
Madam, it is like this. Single oil, because when you ask your mothers or your grannies and all, I think they were very much used to using single oil. But then the oil was like it was extracted from the whole grain, and it was not purified, and that oil was really good for health. But now, what the kind of oil we get in sachets, it is completely filtered or double filtered. We are not using that what you usually call as a ganadenne, not purified oil. So when we are using this purified oil, double filtered oil, preferably it may have or it may not have many mufine PFA content. So better to have a mixed oil and use it. It's always best nowadays, because a lot of I think people are recommending also, even NIN is recommending having used this soybean oil is coming into the market, which has got very good amount of isoflavones, which is very useful for the women. But many people do not like the soybean oil because of this very different kind of odor. Then rice bran oil also, it is brownish in color. Many people do not like it. But at least those who are educated, those who can have adaptability of using the oil should be used. Always mixed oil using is better than using single oil.
Oh.
And one thing, impact of health is always indicates how much of oil you are using. As I gave you example in the beginning itself, that suppose if you are 2 members in a family, you have to use less than 2 liters per month. If you are 3 members, use 3 liters per month. If you are using more than that, definitely it will have a very bad impact.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And one more question from Professor Bharti Harke. The impact of vegetables and fruits after cooking in retaining their vitamins compared to the consumption in a raw way.
Always our food, how it should be, because I was while talking balanced diet, I was talking, we have to have a cooked foods, we have to have a raw foods. It's not that we have to have only raw foods, we have to have only cooked foods. But definitely, while cooking, after cooking, there will be a little bit reduction of some of the nutrients, not all the nutrients, but some of the nutrients. For example, raw foods, fruits and vegetables have good amount of some amount of nutrients, but whereas cooked foods, they may be a loss of some of the nutrients. But the way how you handle the food, the way how you prepare the food, the way how you cook the food also, there is a destructions. One simple example I'll give you for vegetables. While making any vegetable curry, if you cut the vegetable, wash it, then go for cooking, means naturally most of the nutrients are lost. So always best is wash the vegetable under running water or soak it in a NaCl or sodium permanganate, so that whatever the pesticides are present in that, they usually comes out or leaches out. Then after 5 minutes, use again thoroughly under running water. Then use that, cut and eat directly. It should go for cooking. Then you are conserving the nutrients. Okay, then again in the pressure cooking, you are conserving the nutrients. Open boiling, you are destroying the nutrients. So the way how you handle the food, the way how you process the food, there the retention of the nutrients will be there. So definitely, raw fruits and vegetables will have a better retention of nutrients. But sometimes what happens, some people after 45 and 50, there will be a problem in the digestion. So for such people, we have to have a cooked food. We cannot give a raw food. Some people will digest, some people may not digest the food.
Thank you, ma'am. One more question from the same professor. She wants to know about the interval of consumption of water, like morning, noon, afternoon, before food, after food.
Intervals of drinking water.
Yeah, ma'am.
Every 1 hour, 1 glass. Every 1 hour, 1 glass, either a thin buttermilk or a juice or a water. We have to have every 1 hour intervals. For example, say if I get up in the morning 6 o'clock, as soon as I get up, I brush my teeth, then again 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Need not maintain the time, but at least you have to go on drinking water. And simultaneously, if you are doing a lot of physical activity, again you have to replenish the body with a lot of water. So people will not drink water because when you drink more water, you have to go more for urination. But it is good when you go for urination means you are expelling the toxins from the body. Then automatically your skin, epithelial tissue, the major epithelial skin, that is the skin, it becomes really healthy and nice and lubricant. So drink plenty amount of water. It's not necessary that minimum 2.5 to 3 liters of water depending upon the climatic conditions and your physical activity.
Okay, ma'am. One question from Professor Sahana N, which is very interesting. Is eating chocolate on daily basis is good for health?
Pardon me?
Is eating chocolate on daily basis is
Eating
good for health? Chocolates is good for health?
Eating chocolate judiciously is always good because very recently they have found chocolates have got good amount of antioxidants properties and the chocolates have some amount of isoflavones. So chocolates can be had. But along with the chocolates, we are also taking unwanted saturated fatty acids and some amount of added chemicals and all. So children can have no problem. Up to 30, 35, you can have the chocolates. But after 35 and 40, if you have the, prehistory of getting all the other unnecessary, unwanted complications, better to have cocoa powder is available in the market. So that cocoa powder can be mixed with the milk and can be had like something like a cocoa powder. That is also tastes like a chocolate milkshake instead of having chocolates.
Okay, ma'am, this was very interesting. One more question from Professor Hemalata. Does consuming vitamins and mineral tablets for long term instead of taking them through our food affect the health?
Definitely. Because what happens when we continuously go on taking supplementation, body will get adaptation to that. And when we start eating the food, it will refuse to digest those food. You get me? My point? Adaptation means we make our system accustomed to for the easy absorption of the nutrients. But body, when we take the whole fruits and vegetables, they have to undergo the digestion, then process of absorption, utilization, transportation. There's a period of 3 to 4 hours of work inside the body. So when we use the supplementation, naturally the body will not do all that thing. It is directly absorbed and enters into the mainstream of the blood. So which is really not good. So once in a while, say maybe when we are too down or maybe on the prescription of the doctor, can have supplementation for 10 days and 15 days maximum. Then again, we have to come back to having the original foods for the better absorption. So nowadays, because even they say having the fruits is always good than the fruit juice. Why? Because again, a lot of research is done. The grains, for example, citrus fruits. Citrus fruits have a lot of grains in between. Whereas when you have a citrus juice, usually those grains, those fibers are being extracted. They are removed. And some amount of preservatives are added, some amount of, they say it is natural. For example, all of you can go today and read Be Natural or Tropicana or Real, something these all. You try to read the labels very carefully. They say it is only 20 to 40% of juice. Rest all is a water. Rest all is a water. And they say on the advertisement 100% natural, 100% juice. But they cannot give like that. So instead, better to go for the natural fruits to get all the nutrients and nourishment to the body.
A question from Professor A.D. Srinivasan. Can we take vitamin tablets on regular basis?
Yes, you can take after 50s and 60s, you have to take the vitamin tablets on regular basis, but not before that. Upon the doctor's prescription, if there is a problem associated with some kind of, absorption or maybe some utilization or maybe some kind of, there is a internal problems, only doctors can address that. So in such cases, the vitamin supplementations can be taken, especially after 50s and 55, depending upon their metabolic system, it can be taken.
Question from Professor Jairam. He's asking, can we fast once in a week? If so, what should be taken on during that day?
Fasting.
Fasting once in a week, is it okay? And
Yeah,
what must be
it
taken on
can
that
be
day?
had. Usually we have this in a system, say once in a week or once in a fortnight. Usually we have this during Ekadashi and all, we do the fasting and all, and next day we have the food. So it's always good. During fasting, or what do we exactly understand by the fasting? It is giving a rest to the system. Like Sunday, all whole day we work, and Saturday and Sunday we want rest for the body. Same thing, rest for the internal organs. Usually we call it as involuntary functions, organs of the body, like hands and eye movement and legs are under our control. There are so many involuntary organs which are not under our control. They keep on working. To give them rest, we have to do fasting. When you do the fasting, naturally there is a less exertion to undergo the digestion process, naturally giving resting to all the internal organs. So liquids foods is always preferably better than having again solid foods. Juice can be had, preferably not milk based, only juice, or some ganjis can be had. Porridges, what we call porridges, those can be had during fasting throughout the day. It's something like, once in a while we are giving a service to our body in that way. So fasting is good. We have to have it.
Thank you, ma'am. We have one last question from Professor Puneet KM. Does acidic or alkaline nature of food have any effect on health?
Definitely. Acidic food and alkaline food. See, there are two things. When the acid foods are taken inside the body, they become alkaline. When alkaline foods, when taken inside the body, they become acidic. It's always, reverse action. Reaction happens. So naturally, what happens during acidity, we have a lot of acidity problems, so we should not take acidic food, they say. Okay. In turn, we take antacids. Antacids is alkaline nature, they become acidic in the body. So acidic, they become always something like when acid and alkali comes, buffer they become. So naturally, to treat the hyperacidity, in the naturopathy you see, they give all citrus fruits. Citrus fruits means they are very sour. But when they are sour also, they are given because in the body, they act as alkaline in nature. So that is why acidic, when you are feeling acidic, you have to take more of acidic. In Ayurveda also it is said, mullinda tegibeku anta heltare. Something like that. When it is more, you have to give that more so that it will compensate. There will be buffering action. So naturally there will be, equilibrium in the body. So acidic foods, so when I am suffering from hyperacidity, give the more of acidic food. So thereby what happens, there is a mixture. Sometimes the person has loose motion problem or sometimes he vomits. So by doing that, usually the system gets cleared.
Thank you, ma'am. We are done with all the questions. We have of our COVID committee and physical education, that is Professor Sadashiv Murthy sir and Revana sir. We wholeheartedly thank you for this an exceptional session.